Hello Duelists and welcome back to Top Table Duels. Today's video is going to be a ranked best of 3 match. It's going to be the blue is mocciaro at 849 and he is going to be playing a Naturia Beast with Runick in there, so Naturia Runick. And in the red we have BrunoMars at 731 and he is going to be playing Salamangreat, trying to bring back an oldie but a goodie. So mocciaro is going to be going off first. Let's go ahead and kick this off. So mocciaro is immediately going to activate his Runick Smithing Storm. Use the SS effect to go into Hugin. Hugin activate effect, discarding the Naturia Sacred Tree, which is going to be met by an effect veiler, and Sacred Tree will act in the graveyard. It's always painful when Hugin gets veilered like that. Kind of shuts the engine off real quick. So he's going to grab the Mole Cricket with the tree, and then he's going to activate Mudora. He's going to activate the Keldo, ditching the Mudora. Special summon it, and then he's going to get a Kelbeck, the Ancient Vanguard, to his hand. Then he'll normal summon the Naturia Mole Cricket, tribute it off, most likely to bring out the Naturia Camellia. Camellia's effect will activate, sending another Sacred Tree. Sacred Tree will activate, most likely going to grab the Quick Play spell here. Yep, Naturia Blessing in hand. At this point, he can go into the rank 6 Coral Dragon, and then go into his Baron de Fleur, giving himself a draw. And BrunoMars is say not so fast. He's going to say on the summon of Coral Dragon, he's done his 5 summons, so BrunoMars is going to chain, and then Nibiru, the Primal Being. At which point Coral Dragon will get his 1 draw, so it shuts off his mocciaro's ability to go into his Baron de Fleur. He does draw into a Runick Slumber. So he's going to activate the Runick Slumber, then activate the Hugin to ditch the Kelbeck to get the Runick Fountain. So he's going to activate Kelbeck to try to load more spells into his graveyard. He only hits the 1 tip. He does put his Naturia Camellia in there as well as Naturia Sunflower. He's most likely only playing the 1 Sunflower. And then he's going to use the Naturia Blessing Quick Play spell. Special summon out the Naturia Camellia. Link into his Stardust Charge Warrior, which allows him to draw 1 more card. He's really trying to get that Runick engine online. Just seeing the 1 light off would allow him to do a lot more draws. Looking down at BrunoMars, nothing too great down there. All right, so mocciaro is going to activate Mudora, return a Hugin, return a Camilla, and return the Jaguar to get that out of the grave, so it can't use its effect. mocciaro will activate his Bestial Magnamut, targeting his Hugin, it looked like. Oh no, sorry, targeting the other Magnamut. Activate Magnamut's effect. Overlay the 2 into a Beatrice Lady the Eternal. Activate Beatrice Lady the Eternal, detaching the Stardust to get his 3rd Naturia Sacred Tree effect of the game. Bruno shuffles his hand a few times, letting him know that that's okay. Gets that Naturia Blessing. Sets the Naturia Blessing, activates the Runick Fountain. But at this point, he has very little, I'm not going to say his little interaction. He does have the Mole Cricket ability as well as his Camellia, and he can chain his graveyard effects to get that Sunflower, because I'm assuming he's only playing the 1. So on standby phase of BrunoMars' turn, mocciaro is going to activate Beatrice, and he says, oh, I forgot to resolve Magna, and then he's going to send the Medora. Okay, so that gives him the 2 online. So BrunoMars is going to activate the Salamangreat Circle in main phase 1. Normal summon the Salamangreat Foxy. Excavate the top 3, which gives him the Salamangreat Sanctuary to his hand. Links off into Balinx, then activates Grizel's effect, and then then the Mole Cricket will activate, summoning itself out. Gazelle will activate its effect, and then Mole Cricket will chain, tributing itself off to special summon. Since he doesn't control the largest, he can only get his Camellia out. Say resolve. mocciaro reminds Bruno, you forgot to resolve the Salamangreat Gazelle, sending the Jaguar to grave. And then now on a new chain, Camellia will activate, which will be chained to a Medora returning the Jack Jaguar and a Naturia tree as well as a blessing, so it gives him something to search for. So shutting the Jack Jaguar off, and then mocciaro will activate his Sacred Tree, adding another blessing, the one he just shuffled back into hand. Now BrunoMars is going to go into battle phase. Mocciaro is going to think because he's going to use the Nibiru token to attack into, the Nibiru to attack into the Nibiru token. Bestial Druid Worm will activate its effect, and at that point BrunoMars is going to scoop it up because he just cannot get his engine online with such grave disruption. BrunoMars gets to go first this time. He is staring down a Psy-Frame Gear Gamma as disruption on his turn. He's going to go into main phase 1 and activate Salamangreat Circle. So he's going to normal summon into the Flame Buffalo, go into his Balinx. He's going to say activating effects. Mocciaro says, please say your chains. So he's going to say Buffalo, then Bale. So he resolves the Buffalo and then resolves Balinx. I think that's the... I think he did that a little backwards. If this card leaves the field, you can discard one Cyberse, and if you do, draw 2. Okay, no, so yeah, so he did Balinx first and then did... Yeah, he did that right. Okay. So because a card was sent to graveyard, Kelbeck from hand to graveyard, deck to graveyard, Kelbeck can activate, returns the Balinx. Cashtira Fenrir will special summon itself, grab out another Fenrir, and he'll set the infinite impermanence and pass turn. So BrunoMars still has the Nibiru in hand as well as the effect Veiler, and Imperm and the Cashtira Fenrir effect. So mocciaro is going to go within his draw phase, he's going to activate his Runick Flashing Fire, targeting this special summon monster, which is the Fenrir, and then he's going to destroy it, making his opponent banish the top 2, hitting an effect Veiler and a Foxy. So Keldo's effect will activate in hand, ditching the Mudora to special summon itself, and then adding another Keldo to hand. Then he will Xe summon into a number 60 Dagaris the Timeless. Doesn't declare which effect he's activating, and that will be met by an infinite impermanence, keeping that Runick engine offline. So far has paid off pretty well. He will set his Runick Destruction and his Gamma right now obviously offline because he has Dakaris in the field. So BrunoMars will special summon to the Cashtira Fenrir, activate its effect, search for another Fenrir. It'll activate Pot of Desires, banishing 10 off the top. And then he will draw into his effect Veiler and Salamangreat Rage. At this point, we haven't seen too much from the Salamangreats. The shuffle back effect to Shizu's really been keeping him under control. He'll summon the Jack Jaguar, go into battle phase, run over the number 60, and attack with Jack Jaguar into it, and then attack with Cashtira Fenrir. Go into main phase 2, link off the Jack Jaguar for a Balinx. Activate Salamangreat Sanctuary, link off into another Balinx, and mocciaro is saying, wait, think on the active. I'm assuming he's going to say on the activation of Sanctuary. He is going to target and destroy the Runick with Runick Destruction, hit the Salamangreat Sanctuary, banish 4 off the top, hits the Spinny, hits another Jack Jaguar. So mocciaro is going to set his Salamangreat Rage and pass turn. So, I mean, hand traps for BrunoMars are definitely paying some big dividends. He's got no real ability to make anything, so he's going to go ahead and pass turn, hoping his opponent's going to light off an effect so he can go into Gamma. He's going to normal summon the Spinny in his main phase 1, link those off into a Sunlight Wolf. And then he'll activate Jack Jaguar's effect in Graveyard, in which Mudora will both shuffle back both Jaguar and Bale. Both Jaguars and Bale. He said shuffle Spinny as well. Shuffle 4, no. Okay, so he's saying, yeah, I guess there's some issue because he said both Jaguar and Bale. So he shuffled both Jaguars and Balinx, and so now he's saying shuffle Spinny. Because it's effect activated, he's basically saying, so let's go ahead and look at this. If this card, if you control Salamangreat monsters with the card in the graveyard, you can target one Salamangreat monster in your graveyard, except Salamangreat. Shuffle that target into the deck, and if you do, special summon this card. Okay, so I guess the decision is saying that he needs to resolve as much of that as possible. Because it's effect activated, he's saying you need to shuffle that target of the deck, and if you do, special summon this card. So the and if you do, since that comes later in the problem solving text, I believe it should still shuffle itself back in. Okay, we're gonna argue about it a little bit. So basically, Jaguar, I target Bale, you did not. View the graveyard, Salamangreat Jaguar, view the graveyard, point at selling Balinks, stop viewing. Okay, so he was saying that he had targeted Balinks, and his opponent saying he didn't. Okay, so there's some confusion on that play. That happens. So the Sunlight Wolf comes out, and then he special summons the Spinny. And then the moment Sunlight Wolf's effect activates, it's going to be met by a Gamma. And then he's going to use the Spinny in battle phase to run over the other Gamma. And it looks like, yeah, the driver gets banished face down. All right, so turning that other Gamma most likely offline. I don't know a lot of people are playing two drivers. Then he will link off the Balinks. The Spinny gets banished because of its own effect. And then mocciaro goes ahead and activates Runick Freezing Curses off the top. Looks like he's going to special summon into a Runick Fangs. At this point, he's holding on for dear life. Looks like he's going to go into rank 4. Normal summons the Keldo. Goes into an Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. And now he is going to pop off, which means that Effect Failure is going to meet the Evil Swarm. And then he's going to cast Tear Fenrir and banish. And that's it. mocciaro closes up game 2, says, I've had enough of that. Going into game 3, seeing if he can get his Runick engine online. I don't think either player has really gotten their engines online yet. So mocciaro is immediately going to start his draw phase off by activating his Runick Slumber. Get the Huggin. Activate the Huggin by discarding the Naturia Tree, which gets him the Fountain. I say play if you know your opponent's using Effect Veiler. That's a good play to do that in the draw phase. Then he gets his Runick Fountain there, and then activates Naturia Sacred Tree, which gets him the Camellia. Normal summon the Camellia, send another tree, activate the new tree in graveyard, get himself a blessing. Fairly standard stuff. Then he will activate Runick Fountain, link the other two off into a Coral Dragon, then activate Runick Destruction. Going into the special summon of Gary the Runick Fangs, then activate Runick Fountain to shuffle back in his 2 Runick cards, get him 2 more draws. And then he'll link these two, link the Gary as well as the Coral off into a Barone, get his draw off of Coral. And at this point, he has now set himself up to play. He can set the Naturia Blessing to try to get back into his engine. Okay, no, he says I'm going to keep going. So he activates a new Runick Fountain, activates the Runick Slumber. Oh, no, BrunoMars says I quit. Okay, so that closes out that game. That was a little bit anticlimactic on the Salamangreat side. Kind of looking down at his hand, he didn't really have a way to get over the Barone and get his engine going, knowing that his opponent had just drawn into so much. And he had the Naturia Blessing to get his Cricket Mole and his engine back online if anything happened to Barone. So overall, I don't think, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Salamangreat in this current meta. I don't think they really have the power that they used to. The game has just moved too fast. And especially against Naturia Runick. I mean, if you're going 1-for-1 on hand traps on some of these occasions, other than that number 60 play, for the most part, you're always going to go neg, especially if you can't get Runick Fountain offline. Because if you're trading 1-for-1 with them, you're not really trading 1-for-1. They're going to keep going over. So thank y'all as always for watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, let me know in the comments why you didn't, and maybe we can work on that together. As always, if there's a specific deck you want to see, let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.
Thank you for watching. Try some of these other great duels. If you like what you saw, give us a like and subscribe.